Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Joker, please. Thank you for coming over. More waffle. I am determined to finish this shirt this evening. I was like, all prepared to be like on my second shirt by now. Cut out the interface for it and everything, but I have just been on a go slow today. But never mind. Never mind. Oh, I've just had a notice to say I've gone live, which is awesome. Jennifer's here. Hello, how are you? I've been loving the earrings you've made recently, those ones with the little cards in. They are awesome. There we go. And Jennifer says, thank you, you're welcome. Are they done with resin? And where did you get the little cards from? Did you make them yourself? Because they're very cool. Jennifer says she's also making some D&D dice. Oh, nice. I kind of want to get into D&D because I like all the accoutrements that come with it as much as the actual game itself, although not that I understand it very much, but yeah. They are, Jennifer says they are resin and you got the little cards off of Etsy. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Right, we are doing some shirt sewing. Laurel's here. Hello, hi. Jennifer says, and you can make them, and you can make fabulous clothes, and you can make fabulous clothes to go with them. Yes, that would be very cool. So, joys of sewing a million princess seams. Why do I line everything? Why do I make my life twice as hard as it needs to be? Because I prefer how linings feel and look, and it's worth it to me in my head. I'm not saying that anyone else has to do this because they totally don't. The joy of making your own clothes is you can make them exactly to your preferences. But why? Why must I line everything? It's the same when I get to having to hem skirts. I'm just like, why? Why did I pick such a large skirt? Or at least a large hem circumference. Marie's here. Hello, everyone. I could not make it last week. I was on holiday. You happened to be on a very lovely island, Marie, from what I saw. How did you enjoy the isle that is white? Jacob Clee says, I'm currently being snuggled by I, and I'm not tired, immediately swallows his face, roofing or his toddler. Lol. Oh, bless. Giant yawns all around. Mind you, if I say that much more, I will actually do it because they're contagious, as we all know. So, yes. Fully convinced I would be on my second shirt. I'm still trying to sew all the bits of my first shirt together. It'll be fine. Totally fine. What's everybody else working on? I know you've just got home, Caroline. Are you going to pick up a project this evening? Dad has decided that he would like a knit garment from Mum. He hasn't had one for years. Because the last one she attempted to do him was probably decades ago. And it ended up being like a tent. So, yeah, she's not made him one since. He's asked for a cable cardigan with a shawl collar. So if any of you guys, we're going to stalk Ravelry, basically. I'm going to sit him down with Ravelry and we're going to have a look through and see what we can find. But if any of you guys have a recommendation for a cable knit shawl collar men's cardigan, then let us know. Now, did I sew in a pucker? Did I sew in a pucker? No, I did not. I just creased it. That's good. I mean, it's the lining, so it's not the end of the world, but still. It would be nice to not sew in puckers. My are doing that annoying thing where they're not quite sharp to the tip anymore. Okay, my little pile of bits that need ironing is growing. Let's see. Marie says we had a lovely trip. Yes, we had a lovely trip. We were with friends and we had a brilliant time. It looked like you had a lovely time. Did you get to Osborne House? You did get to Osborne House because you put up a picture from the Peacock Room, didn't you? I saw that. Sorry. Marie and I are friends on Facebook, and she visited the Isle of Wight recently. Joker says, I've read that one. Johanna says, hi all, hello. Josephine says, hello. Hi. Joker says, and the toddler has left the building, so to speak. Lol. Oh, is he asleep? Oh, he's definitely not sleepy though. Definitely not sleepy. Yannick says, I'm cutting out flannel pajamas for a dress-up day at work. Ooh, nice. What colour flannel have you gone for? Caroline says, yep, going to carry on with my Gryffindor sweater, just got the front neckline split. Good luck with that. David Arave says, hi, Sean and Co. Happy Sunday evening. Hello. Debbie says, hello. Marie did, and Carisbrooke Castle. Oh, I really like Carisbrooke Castle as well. Jokingly says, no, he's currently mangling something in the living room. Ah, less peaceful. Less peaceful. No. Oh, it's up to 20 degrees. I've been down here a couple of hours and it took a little while it was 15 degrees, but we've warmed up a little bit. It's getting to the point where I'm just like, do I need my shawl? And the answer in a couple of minutes will probably be no. Let's see. Were the Donkeystone residents at Carisbrooke Castle, or they retired for the winter? To Marie. And Unique says, it's my first time with this pattern, so just a cheap black and red buffalo pattern. Nice. Which pattern are you using? I did end up giving all of the pajamas that I've made to my friend because she wears PJs. I do not. I keep making them. I even like put an evening together at the retreat so that we've all got an excuse to wear our fancy PJs if you wish to make them. And I made them too late for that last year. And this year I just wore my dressing gown. Let's sew in a pleat. There we go. Get in there. Beef Crumble says hi. Awesome name. Paddy says, so glad to see you back on Sundays and I get to watch live today. Hi, you're welcome back. Thank you very much for coming. I'm so genuinely amazed that people did sort of like turn up last week. So thank you. Unique says, I'm using the Itch to Stitch Pine Cove pattern. Ooh, I've heard of that one. I have seen people make that and say good things about it. So good luck with it. I think for the retreat next year, I'm going to do another fancy dressing gown, and I'm going to use my Liberty Loddon cotton poplin that I've got, because I sleep in jersey PJs. And the next retreat is actually going to be one that is residential for Mum and I as well, because it's not in the village we live in. It's in Charles. I'll be posting the details about that very soon. We still have some spaces left. There are 4 spaces left on the retreat. There is room technically for another 2 people. So if I end up with 6 people who want to come, there is room. And it won't be cramped or squeezed at all. But yeah, there is. I've priced everything with 10 people coming, and I've got 6 at the moment, so we've got 4 spaces. So yeah, really excited about it. The house that we've rented was built in the 1600s. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be a very fun time, but I will be doing a video about that and putting that up real soon, because it's actually 5.5 months away, so it's not that far away. I'm all like, yeah, I've got all the time in the world. And 5.5 months, which is a decent amount of time, but I appreciate that there's quite a few people that will be traveling from places far and wide, so time to make travel plans is always appreciated. I'm not sewing any pleats into my exterior fabric. It's not going to happen. Vox is here. Hello, Shannon Peeps. Hello. Yannick says, thanks. Her patterns are always size accurate, so I have high hopes for this one. Nice. You'll have to let us know how you get on. Taken a Rave says, this is where your whole bed around you sort of weather in the UK. Brr. Yes. Yes. I've even got the electric blanket out on my bed, which I am absolutely loving. When I wake up in the middle of the night and the heating's gone off, and usually you're like under the dovet and all toasty warm and asleep, so you don't really notice. But when you're awake and you're kind of like wriggling around and stuff, I get really cold really quickly. So having the electric blanket has been an absolute godsend. Trying not to sew in pleats to princess seams. Always a fun time. I know it's doable because I've just finished one of these shirts. We will get there. Marie says, it's good to see you back, and my Sojo has come back. I'm currently making a shirt to go with my jeans. I have almost finished my Amberlin cardigan. Oh, very cool. Mum's finished hers and she loves it. Although she kind of was just like, I'm never doing one of those patterns again. So it's a good job I didn't really fall in love with any of them, because there was a couple that was just like, oh, I really like that. And she just looked at me and I was like, okay, so Catherine Hargreaves it is then. I have to get Mum to wear it for the vlog, so you guys can see the finished article, because it is rather epic. Did you go for the same colorways as the pattern designer recommended? Like you could buy the kit, which is what Mum did. David Ray says, wow, they're only slightly after the Tudors. Think of all those Georgians and Victorian gowns worn in your house. I know someone who's coming might be in the process of making a beautiful Victorian gown so that she can photograph it there, because we're going to be there for a week. So yeah. Chris says, made a fleece pullover top first time using a closet core pattern. The jury's still out on the pattern. Is it that the pattern was hard to follow, or annoying to follow? Not that it was hard, but was it, was it issues with the pattern, or is it just not for you, the style? I mean, it's one of the downsides of making your own stuff, isn't it? That you have to make it to try it on and see if you like it. I have managed that with no puckers. Just clipping into my curves. I've been seeing a lot of videos recently from people just saying, oh my gosh, you should not be clipping into your curves. It's unsightly. You can see through the fabric. It's just not good. And it's just, you should be trimming your seam allowance down to just under water and then pressing it, and that will be enough. And it's just like, okay, that works for you, which is awesome and totally up to you. But I really like clipping my curves, and I do that even though I'm, like using a white fabric is just what I like. I think it's interesting that there's a bunch of stuff coming out about like this is the only way to do this particular thing, and you must do it this way, otherwise you're doing it incorrectly. Whereas like you've got options. These are the options that you could choose. Pick one that works for you. If I wasn't lining this, I'd be French seaming it, and I would be French seaming these princess curves in the method that I show in the video, where it's like you can French seam princess curve and have it lie nice and flatly, which does end up with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So the theory's there. It's just a bit annoying being told, no, you're doing it wrong. This is the only way you can do it. So no, that's not true though, is it? Beef Crumble says, feel like sewing some Christmas deckies, but think I've left it a tad late this year. You have time. You're going to say Christmas presents, I would say perhaps not. But a couple of decorations, you've got time. Although I have to appreciate that other people have lots more responsibilities and life things than I do. So yeah. Tristan's here. Yay, I made it. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. David Arab says, I love putting bedding in the tumble dryer just before making the bed. It don't half shrink, but they feel so warm and comforting at this time of year in this weather. I wouldn't recommend it though, because it shrinks. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do miss having fresh bedding out of the tumble dryer. But we're very bougie. Every other week we send our bedding off to the local laundrette, and they come pick it up for us, and they wash it for us, and they press it, and they bring it back, and it's lovely. So, and it's £17, which is amazing. So yeah, I like that very much, although it's not warm, but my electric blanket makes my bed warm, which is good. Marie says, yes, I did. There's quite a few I like in the book. I quite like Mum made the Catherine of Aragon for Nia, and she did the Anne Boleyn for herself, and there's one that I really like. But I think she might kill me if I ask for one. So I just asked for a really easy one, which you can just see the sleeve of there. Beef Crumble says, but isn't that the fun to try on the clothes when making your own? Oh, absolutely. It's just one of those things though that like it's not like you can walk into a store and try a new style on. If you're trying a new style, you've got to make all the thing first, and you can't try out something that isn't necessarily something that you either know you like or there's a lot of work that goes into getting it to a point where you can try it on to decide if you like it or not. unlike in a store where you obviously can just try the thing on and be like, this does not fit well, but I like the style. Which is something that I recommend people do if you're trying a wildly different style for you. Like I'm doing that with a bunch of trousers, trying to find a shape of trousers that I like. Because I just don't wear trousers at the moment because I could never find any that I like the shape of on me and that also fit me. Going round curvy bits again, trying to not sew in pleats. I think I'm going to just develop it a little bit. It always amazes me when people can sew princess seams without having pinned it first. Sorry, just concentration face right at the last little bit. Determined to not sew a pleat into this. And I think I've succeeded. Proper concentration face there. But I think I've succeeded. Any tucks? Any tucks? No, I did it. Yay. Right. So flip these curves so that I can press it nice and flatly. Then I need to do some stay stitching, clipping on facing. So that I can get that to fit into the lining pieces that I've drafted, because this is a super curvy curve. And without clipping, there is absolutely no hope of getting these two pieces to fit together, even though they actually do. Once you clip, you have to clip. Just going to trim off all the excess little fluffy bits of interfacing as well. Not too many on this one. Little bits. Then I have to be careful that I don't get them attached to the work so that I then press them onto the work, because that would be bad. And it's white on white on white. There we go. So pick up the bits that I have dropped on my dress, because I don't want them to get stuck to my dress either, because these are two tiny bits of interfacing with glue all over them. Let's catch up with the chat. Dave Norris says that totally defeats the whole idea of being creative, that you must do this, can't do that. Yep. And some people prefer or have to do certain techniques for reasons. So, you know, like, I love that there are many options for doing something in sewing. One of my favourite books that I've raved about loads is the Perfect Jacket one, the tailoring one that I use a lot, because it gives you like 3 different types of tailoring that you can use for your like coat or jacket making requirements, and one of which is speed tailoring, which is the one that I've used predominantly. You know, with fusibles because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I have on hand, and I haven't really been that interested in learning hand tailoring, like the pad stitching side of things. And not because I don't want to, but just because I can imagine that I would have a lot of fun making that jacket, and I actually have plans for possibly doing something like that next year with some fabric that I've got. But it's just one of those things that the more you do it, the better it looks. From the experience that I've had looking at other people going down that route and using those techniques, and really applying them to lots of projects that they're using over time and getting better and better and better at it, because practice does make perfect. Just that's a saying for a reason. And I know that I don't really want to make that many of that type of garment. So for me, speed tailoring works really well, and they talk you through all the things that you should and shouldn't do and how to do that, or not shouldn't do, but like why they're asking you to do the things that they do, because you're using the method that you are. So I like that book a lot, because there's three different kind of types. There's a combination: speed tailoring, a combo, and then all hand tailoring. And I like that they're not telling you that one is better than the other. They're just telling you this is the application you would use this for, and here's why. And then you can make your own choices, which I like. I like a lot. Wait, I need to do some stay stitching. Oh, where did I get to the chat? Chris says the style needed to be altered a tad for the fleece pullover from Closet Core. Are you going to? Is it one that you want to persevere with, do you think, or is it one that you're like, this is nice but not for me? So are you going to do the alterations to the tweaks to the pattern? Unique says, I find that a lot of the popular sewing advice leaves the garment unalterable in case of future weight fluctuations. I stick to what works for me. Yes, yeah. If you're trimming down your seam allowances, that's not, mind you, with the clipping that I've just done, I wouldn't be able to let those seams out because there would be holes in it. So that has also made it unalterable at those princess seams. But yeah. Beef Crumble says that's true. Also better to have a friend come with some pins or chalk when you're wearing clothes in case it needs further alterations. Laura says, I'm avoiding more work on my 6696 because my button box is disorganized, and obviously I need to take care of that first. Absolutely. Of course you do. Deborah says, talking of tumble dryers, what fabric would you say can or can't be tumble dried? Ironically, I don't have a tumble dryer myself. No space, but maybe one of those 2-in-1 washing machine tumble dryers. Some clothes kind of crumble under the tumble dryer's heat and fabrics. Honestly, anything that gets washed fabric-wise, and all the stuff you see behind me that's not silk or lace, I will put it through the wash at 40 degrees. No, 30 degrees, I beg its pardon, and then I put it in the hot tumble dryer. All of it, all of this. But that is to get the shrinkage out as much as possible, because I don't want to have to wash something twice to guarantee that I've shrunk it as much as I possibly can. And then when I've made the clothes up, I find that then I don't want to tumble dry anything, because that's when I find that it creates more damage or is more detrimental to the finished garment than actual just tumble drying fabric. So I do tumble dry everything behind you that you see here, like I say, that isn't silk or lace has been tumble dried, and I haven't had an issue yet. If you're worried about your fabric, I would say cut yourself a 10 centimeter square and wash it and tumble dry it, and measure the square afterwards and look at the fabric and look at the fibers and see how it's come out. Because if it's an expensive fabric and it doesn't want to be tumble dried, like a lot of the rayons and the viscoses and stuff, they're all like, oh, dry clean only, and it's like, no. no. So I tumble dry everything, but only in fabric form. When it's clothing, it hangs up to dry. So yeah, I do it for the shrinkage. Beef Crumble says, there's lots of do's and don'ts re how to file your nails. It's an art as well as a science. Leave people's fingers and toes alone and let them have fun deciding on their own shapes and styles. Same with sewing, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I can see that there's reasons why you file from a certain point and that you do things in a certain way with nails, because there, like you say, there's a science behind it, but different people do have different applications of that science. Yeah, I mean, unless there's like a hard and fast rule that, you know, if you do X, Y, and Z, you will explode. So don't do X, Y, and Z, then, because the only outcome is that you will explode, then maybe follow that rule. But if you have X, Y, and Z, and the outcome can be various different things depending on how much X, Y, or Z you put in, or if you leave one of them out completely, and the end result isn't you explode, then, you know, like, I don't think that there's anything such thing as like a hard and fast rule that has to be. I mean, one that I will say you have to follow is press as you go. Like, you can. I'm sewing bunches of different seams here, but the minute that any of these seams need to be sewn together, I will press it before I sew it together. So don't cross the streams, basically. I've done a video on this 3 things that you shouldn't do. You have to respect the grain line, although if you know why that is, and if you want to try and futz around with it with different fabrics, then if you know the rule, you can break it. Clip your curves. I do think that's a good one to do, because the better you can press a garment, the better it's going to look. And always pre-wash your fabric, because it will shrink on you. Always treat your fabric for whatever you're making in the way that you are going to treat the garment at the end of it. So, like I say, I only tumble dry fabric. I don't tumble dry clothes, but I do tumble dry fabric to get it to shrink as much as it's going to, so that I can wash my clothes and then have line dry them, so that I know that they won't shrink on me anymore, because I've never had it happen. That's one of the ones where I don't have to say, ask me how I know. I've never had it happen. But I've heard other people who've made beautiful dresses out of something that they're like, oh yeah, you don't have to wash fabric. You don't have to wash it. It's totally fine. And then they've made a beautiful dress, put it through the wash, and it's shrunk, and then they can't wear it because it's way too small. So, you know, there are some rules that you should stick to because you will explode. But there are other rules that you can bend and you won't explode. So David Rave says, sorry to anyone who doesn't know what a tumble dryer is. It's just a dryer in some countries. Caroline says, my tumble dryer got moved so I can't get to it, so I haven't used it for 3 winters. For shrinkage, I go to the laundrette. Debbie's here. I tumble dry most fabrics except wool and silk and anything I'm a bit worried about. And Caroline says, wool I go over with a steaming iron. David Rave says, ooh, Mary and Debbie, or Caroline and Debbie know what a tumble dryer is. Yes, both UK ladies. I mean, so Mum has been washing her silk shirts on the silk wash with silk detergent in the wash, and she's not happy with how her shirts are coming out. She doesn't like how they have ended up looking, and I sort of said to her, it's like, you know, maybe they don't get washed. And she's like, well, but they always get washed. And I was like, well, yeah, but you're not happy with the outcome, and maybe they do become dry cleaner. Oh, that's far too expensive. And it's like, well, so is also spending £45 a metre on silk that you love, making a shirt up, washing it, and then having it fall apart on you after one wash. Like, you know, like if you don't want to dry clean your clothes, you don't have to dry clean your clothes. I'm not trying to say that, oh my gosh, if you know, like, you've got to do you, you've got to do what works for you. But if you've had an experience where you have washed and laundered a silk shirt and it's not come out well, then either don't buy silk or dry clean. But then I don't think clothes need washing as much as other people do either. I'm very Victorian in my clothes washing standards. Like, if something smells or is dirty, then it gets washed. But if it doesn't smell and it's not dirty, then you can freshen it up, and, you know, loads of different ways. Put it in a steamy shower room with you to give it like a freshen up. actually steam it. You can Febreze it, vodka, put it in the freezer, spot clean. You know, all of my, I wear like slips and underwear and stuff under that to protect my clothes from me. So the stuff that I launder frequently is all of my underwear, tights, slips, like base layers and things like that. They're the stuff that gets washed all the time, and then the actual clothes do not. And so far, not one person has told me I smell. They could be too polite, but I don't think I do. So, Laura says, I'm a big fan of learn from the mistakes of others. You don't need to make them all yourself. Yes, totally. It's why when I'm doing like the sew-alongs and stuff, if I ever get to the point where I'm like, please do it this way, ask me how I know, it's because I've made that mistake. And it's just like, trust me when I say that doing it this way, you will get a better result. But I don't necessarily put the mistakes into the sew-alongs, because I also don't think people want to watch you make that mistake and then have to correct it in something that is supposed to be giving you a step-by-step guide from start to finish of how to make the thing perfectly. I don't mind putting my mistakes into other things and showing like mistakes in other things, but I think in a sew-along, yeah, it's just I've made the mistake, ask me how I know, rather than let me show you the mistake I've made and how I'm gonna not make that mistake the second time around, kind of thing. Debbie Rose says, sorry Caroline, my apologies. Debbie says, I didn't wash a lovely white fabric once and made a pair of trousers. First wash they shrank and didn't fit. Oh no. Laura says, yay, the lid of the button box closes now. Nice. Debbie says, I always pre-wash now. It just takes it one time for it to happen. And I've heard so many horror stories that I was just got into the habit of it. And I remember doing it when I was living in London in Stockwell. And it was a Victorian terraced house that I was living in, and it had this really lovely wooden twirling banister. And so I was washing, I'd had loads of fabric that I hadn't washed, and it was just sitting there. And so I was washing all and hanging it over the banister to dry because I didn't want to use the tumble dryer. And now anytime that fabric comes in to the house, I get to show it to you guys first, and then it immediately gets washed. So all of this stuff behind me, if it needed to be washed, it has been washed, so it's now all ready for me to use. Because there's nothing worse, again, this is a very long time ago this happened to me, but there's nothing worse than deciding you want to make a project and the fabric's not ready to be washed, or you can't remember if you've washed it or not, and you don't want to risk it. So you're like, okay, that needs to be washed before I can start. So obviously you've got the washing and the drying cycle. So yeah, now anytime fabric comes in, straight into the washing machine, then the tumble dryer, then it's folded and puts into the stash, and then I know that everything behind me is ready for me to use at the merest hint of a whim. If I decide I want to make something, everything behind me is usable. So, and again, that's what works for me. Other people have different routines and different systems, and whatever system you've got that works for you is awesome. This fabric is so cool. There's so many cute little kitties all over it. Okay. There we go. So I've got all the prep work I can get done. So now I just need to go and do a bunch of ironing. But that's very antisocial, so I probably won't do that until we finish here today. So I'm probably going to sit and chat to you now. Haha, you're stuck with me. Nimora says, hello everyone, I'm back. Did we misbehave? Always. We aim to misbehave. Caroline says, Dave, no worries. Mary is my middle name. The only thing waiting to be washed in is the 20 meters of white linen I bought a month or so back. Are you gonna split that up into different smaller pieces, or are you going to try and take the whole bunch to the laundrette to have them wash it in one go for you? I wasn't sure what you were going to do with all that linen. I'm sure you told me during the Zoom call, and I'm just blanking on it. But I also blanked on Amelia Earhart's name earlier, so I'm having a slow brain day today. That is absolutely for sure. Oh, would you guys like to see the new cardigan that Mum's knit for me? Because I think it's warm enough that I can take off some of these layers and put on the cardigan that Mum's made. Hang on. I do love these little shrugs. I love those so much. It is a bright apple green, and I purposefully asked for big voluminous sleeves. So that they would go over all of my giant pirate sleeves. And then it's the body of it is the Hartem cardigan. And I didn't want buttons and buttonholes on it, although I might maybe ask for one. Aren't I lucky? That's why I love it. So yeah, Mum's changed the Hartem cardigan quite a lot. She's rounded off the neckline for me because the actual pattern has the neckline square. So Mum kind of just follows these cables and rounds it off for me. And then these sleeves are from another Kim Hargreaves pattern, and it's just regular knitting, but you do it with one really large and one really small needle, so it kind of gives like a really interesting kind of finish to it. And then these are the cuffs from the Hartem cardigan, and these are the extra small cuffs, so they are very fitted to my wrist. These sleeves on this dress are super long. So, but yeah, I asked for an extra couple of inches of width in these sleeves so that there was definitely room for my giant sleeves. And I love the colour. Pretty sure this is one of my greens. Yeah. It's the Stylecraft double knit acrylic yarn, because we all know I can't wear wool because it just drives me up the wall. One of my favourite jumpers that Mum's ever knit me is that Zanti knits one, the Ruffle Schmuffle, in the yellow, but it's a merino, so it's so itchy, so I can only wear it over other things, and then the sleeves stick to. It's really frustrating because it's such a gorgeous jumper. So yeah, it's called Apple, this colourway. Margaret says beautiful. Debbie says that's lovely. Marie says, ooh, lovely colour, thank you. Laurel says very cute and such a springy colour. Yes. Jacob Clee says, and the caps lock key strikes again. Lol. And Elena says, new cardigan is awesome. Sorry for being quiet. The meds are kicking in and making me drowsy. No worries at all. Caroline says, yes, I will split it probably into 4, mainly for its petticoats and such to keep me warm. We don't have central heating. Yes. So splitting it into lots is not going to be detrimental. I did the same with, obviously it's not the same weight, but the viscose Marrakein that I use for lining, I split that into 4 bunches so that I could wash it. So Caroline says, we'll have to dig through my Kim Hargreaves books to find those sleeves. I will. It's in Flutter. Is it in Flutter? It's in Flutter. Give me a second. I will find the name of it for you. Because State Amazon. Pretty sure it's in Flutter, she says. Or was it not? Oh dear, did I get that wrong? Ooh, that one is Tizzy is nice. Did I get that one? I'm sure it was in Flutter. Oh no, the I is in Flutter. Oh, sorry. Ravelry. Ravelry. The entire cardigan's knit like this, and Mum didn't do me one in sage green, which I really liked, but I ended up giving it to Big Bird because it fit her better. It was just a little too big for me. But Big Bird is a good 4 inches taller than I am, so it worked really well for her. Search favorites. Yeah. 39 matching ones. Are we shocked? Nobody is shocked. No, I've saved it in my favorites in here. No, I did. Daria. Is it Daria? It's in the Ravish book, and it's called Daria. So that's the cardigan originally. So obviously Mum's massively lengthened the sleeves for me because I didn't want sleeves that short. Yeah. Daria. So I think it's the right green for me. Put all my colour swatches here. Oh, I definitely don't have it on there, but it's between, like, I think it's kind of like between sort of these three. So yeah, it's probably a bit more kind of dual toned winter cardigan colour, but I don't care. It's bright and festive. I like it. Marie says, I'm going to knit the free pattern from Hobby. It's a shrug type shawl. Ooh, cool. Is it one of those ones that's got sleeves that you wrap around like a scarf as well? Because I really like those. I want to try it. I think I might even be able to knit that myself because it hasn't got any fancy things. Debbie says, I bought some of the metallic effect wool from Hobby. It's so soft. Don't tell me now. I don't need to. The Metallico is just beautiful, and I've been trying not to buy it. They do a really pretty pink one. Oh no. Tristan says, I will see you next time. Hubby and I are out to do Santa's work. I give a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and it was lovely to see you. Caroline says, like the stream, peeps? Yes, we've got 54 of us and 25 weeks. Marie says, yes. Oh, I think I could knit one of those, you know. I think I could, because I can do, as long as I don't have to knit in the round and bind things off and then knit. If I can sew it together afterwards, I think I could do that. Jessica says, yes, don't forget to mangle that like button. Indeed, it does help, I promise. It really does help, I promise it does. So, yeah, it's actually really nice down here now. Oh, lovely, lovely. So, Elena, I know you've gone quiet. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. I was thinking, you know, I'm doing my Dragon in a Day project. I love this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This is the little charm that Elena gave me in my calendar. I was thinking that I might put it on a collar for my little shoulder dragon. I thought that could look like it's a little egg. I don't know if I could actually share it with my shoulder dragon. I don't know if I'm gonna, now that I've seen it again, because I really do like it. It is really pretty. Oh no, it's got to be a necklace for me. I was like, yeah, it'd be really cool having it as like a little. Oh, I didn't notice that it's got a little diamante in its bum as well. So yeah, I think it needs to be a little pendant for me. Bad luck, dragon. No collar for you. Just pretty jewelry for me. Let's see. Vox. Is that? I can't see what that emoji is. I'm too blind. Is that a little leek or is that a pineapple? Looks like he's a little man holding a pineapple, which is pretty cool. Laura says, would a hand sew snap do for the trick for that cardigan too? Possibly, but I do have some buttons that are exactly the right. I didn't show you guys, did I? I showed the other guys, but I didn't show you guys. I finished this yesterday. And I have got some buttons that are exactly the right green, but it's my void shirt. And they've got little green eyes, which is why I went for the green buttons down the front. I really like it. So yeah, I have a void shirt, which goes really well with my cardigan. That silk top I finished the other day, you guys saw on the Vlogmas. I think it's going to go so well with the navy suit, and I really want to do these cigarettes 3/7/8 length pants with it. Trousers, words are hard. I know what I mean. I really want to do those to go with that top. I think it's going to look epic. Yes. Yumoi says my crochet blanket is growing pretty quickly. I should start swatching the lightly toasted cardigan for my lovely magenta purple alpaca. That yarn was really pretty. I really liked it. Elena says that sounds fun. Put it on a choker so you could share. Possibly. That's what I was thinking. Maybe put it on a little jump ring and then it could be moved from dragon to me. But now that I've looked at it again, I'm just like, nope, it's too nice for the dragon. It's got to be for me. Elena Vox says, I think it's a thumbs up. Oh, I'm so blind. It looks like a pineapple. Am I just seeing pineapples everywhere though? Because that's quite a possibility. That's quite a possibility. Caroline says to Nimoy, that was a glorious colour. It was indeed. Very good colour. So yeah. Yes. I have Jokely says pineapples. Yes. Many pineapples. I have a vote to go up on Patreon. I'm gonna need your guys' help. The 5951 that I cut out of the goldfish viscose, I've cut out long sleeves, which have got a cuff and a continuous lap. And I can't decide if I have to pull my finger out and take those sleeves and put them on my shirt dress, which is currently sleeveless and has had its sleeve openings lined and pinked to within an inch of low life, so it's not going to be an easy alteration. And then put little cap sleeves on the 5951, or if I put the sleeves on the 5951 and leave the sleeveless dress alone and as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sleeves up first, and then I'm going to pin them to one of my 5951s that has got the little cap sleeves on. So it's obviously going to be completely the wrong print, but it will give you an idea of what the silhouette looks like. And then I'll pin them onto the 9345 shirt dress that I've made. I have a feeling you guys are going to say that the sleeves should go on the shirt dress, because I think that's what I want to do, but I know I am not going to enjoy that alteration. It's going to be an absolute pig of an alteration. But I think it will be the way forward. But I think I'm going to put it up for a vote for you guys, for the Patreon peeps, to have a look at and see what they think. So yeah. Jokely says pineapples and lemons. The citrus collection, although that's kind of citrus there. And the pineapples, where did the pineapples go? Oh no, they're no, they're not. That's lemons. Pineapples are over here. Pineapples are over here. They should be on the outside. Yes, this is going to get worked on in March, so we could very well be doing lots of lemons and pineapples next year and getting that section cleared out. So yes, Nimue says, I was so pleased with that colour match. The shop has very good pictures, but online shopping is always a bit of a gamble indeed. And Fox is laughing and just put an actual pineapple in. Eleanor says, Joker says, they're the themes of the year. Joker says, Minion Man says hi and gave you a wave. Hi, Minion Man. Hello. So, yeah. We're starting off the year with plenty of pineapple-related goodness. 2 days in a row. So, I'm very, very amused by that. Yeah. My tummy is rumbling. Dad's made salmon this evening, which I'm very much looking forward to. So, yeah, my tummy's rumbling, and I'm going to go and eat my dinner, and then I'm going to come back and continue on working on this shirt. But it's been really fun hanging out with you guys, both the peeps earlier and you guys now. Thank you very much. We will be doing early morning, early morning, 11:30 and 12:30 next week. And we're finishing in plenty of time for you to get to Andrea from Beyond the Pink Doors hangout as well. So thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up and a like, that would be very, very, very much appreciated. And I will see you guys tomorrow for more Vlogmas. And there will be some proper videos coming out next week as well, which I'm looking forward to. One of which, fingers crossed, should be a studio tour, which I'm really excited about because I've got some amazing footage of when this place was actually basically derelict with giant holes in it. So yeah. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all next week at the hangout, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Vlogmas. Bye.